we thank you for joining us here tonight for the SmackDown before St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And we are set here tonight for Women's Tag Team Championship action as the challengers make their way down to the ring. Isla Dawn and Blair Davenport, two women that have come up from BCW, and ever since they had joined the SmackDown roster, they felt like they haven't had the opportunities that they were looking to make. And when they returned, we had Isla Dawn, who suffered an unfortunate injury back a couple of months ago, but now these two are back. They returned at the Rumble, and they are the very first task that they have tonight is to capture some championship gold and add it to their portfolio. But the party tonight is about to commence as Katana Chance and Kayden Carter have arrived in the building. The current reigning Women's Tag Team Champions, currently holding the titles for 62 plus days currently, and they defeated Sonya Deville and Tamina back at Monday Night Raw a couple of months ago. And tonight they are set for another championship defense. Blair and Isla set the challenge to the champions, and they said, you know what, we don't back down, and you guys have got some momentum. You guys are fired up. You're at 100% from being out for a while. Let's defend the titles, and that's exactly what we're getting tonight.
The following is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers, Blair Davenport and Isla Dawn, the Unholy Union. And their opponents, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Kayden Carter and Katana Chance, the Spitfire Warriors.
And the champions not backing down here tonight. We are set for a Women's Tag Team Championship clash. As next week we've got St. Valentine's Day Massacre taking place. And then we saw last night as well a successful title defense from Carmelo Hayes. Could the after party get that as well tonight? Here we go, the bell rings, the match is underway, and immediately Blair Davenport tried to go right after Kayden Carter, but it seemed like it was a miscalculation there into a drop kick. And we had ran down the card for St. Valentine's Day Massacre last night on the Raw side. And for SmackDown, we've got a hell of a clash between the world champion of the men's division, Finn Balor, as he is set to defend his title against the Intercontinental Champion, Damian Priest. Well, when the matchup starts, Damian will no longer be the Intercontinental Champion, as he will evoke his option to vacate the Intercontinental Championship, as he has now qualified and he now meets the minimum requirement of being a mid-card champion for at least 150 days to challenge for the World Championship. And then as well on the SmackDown side, we've got Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough, who JD has just been picking at Ilya as much as possible, just getting under his skin, really trying to test him. And that test is about to be settled when those two square off. And then as well, AJ Styles and Andrade looking to finally settle their score when Andrade attacked AJ Styles with that vicious assault of chairs back around January of last month when him and Santos attacked him, but since then Santos has betrayed Andrade has betrayed Santos, and Andrade now the new leader of the LWO. But AJ Styles, he said, I want Andrade all to myself, no interferences from those other hooligans, and we've got a steel cage bout that's going to happen between those two as Isla Dawn goes for the cover here, but instead Kayden Carter goes for that kick out. I don't know why I confused both of them, to be honest. But Isla Dawn once more getting her back up to her knees, though. In this instance, it seems like she hasn't really, thought about much about where she's going to go from here. And a nice execution there by Katana. Chance goes for that another rolling pin into that super kick onto the while she's sitting down. Goes for the cover there. Is this it? Could she retain the championship once more in a kick out, though? Hasn't even been 10 minutes into this bout, though. Isla Dawn and Blair Davenport, they have challenged for the championships before in the past. And right now, a double team sequence there by Katana and Kayden. Brilliant moves from these two. These two, there's never really any miscalculation between these two. They are always communicating with each other. They always get in fresh tags as Katana Chance with that suicide dive onto the challenger. And now she's feeling the energy of the crowd here tonight as she's getting Isla back up to her feet. She cannot defeat her on the outside. She could technically get a win by countout as they do have the champion's advantage, but I don't think they would want to win that way as she goes for that splash onto Isla Dawn. Goes for another attack there, it seems. And another face plant there by the champion. And I was mentioning earlier the last time that Blair Davenport and not Ilya, I don't know why I'm thinking Ilya, Isla Dawn challenged for the women's tag team titles. It was back at Vengeance around June, I believe that's when it was, when they had faced Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss when they were the title holders. But since then, Katana and Kayden are looking to make the mission statement to try to break the ultimate all-time record of the longest reigning women's tag team title run, Charlotte Flair and Bayley, as she went there for the double knees onto the chest. And speaking of Charlotte Flair and Bayley, I don't really understand why Charlotte, didn't want to wait till WrestleMania after winning the Royal Rumble, but I guess she's got her title matchup against Bayley, and pretty much what the route is going to be for the women's world title picture come April is going to be a mystery. Makes the tag there onto her tag team partner Isla Dawn. These two would love to walk into WrestleMania as women's tag team champions. They've both never captured championship gold throughout their careers here in Spirit Pro Wrestling. As she runs onto the ropes here, tried to go for the knee, but instead Katana Chance countered. But speaking of title holders, Katana and Kayden, for the longest time, they had been not very frequently, utilized on television, not really, rarely having any matches at that. But whenever they did win the championships, it was a shocker to a lot of people. But since then, they have proven to the entire world why they deserve to be at the top of the women's tag team division. As Katana Chance with a frog splash there onto Isla Dawn, plants her there and gets her back up to her feet, looking to finish her off once more. But it seems like she doesn't want to finish it just yet. Try to go for a double team here, but Isla Dawn counters the bigger competitor in Katana Chance. Isla Dawn is the biggest competitor in this thing. And she goes for the splash once more as Isla Dawn goes for the cover here. She could win the titles, but instead Kayden Carter looks to break it up. And Katana Chance, which she does lack in size, she makes up for it in her athleticism, her agility. Used to be a former competitor in American Ninja Warrior, as right now she's looking to just bash Blair Davenport's head in. Every single one of these women with a unique background, and Blair Davenport It's competed all over the world here, and a nice arm drag there by the champion. As I was mentioning, Blair Davenport instead picks her up. Oh, try to go for a powerbomb, and instead goes for that counter there. Nice hurricanrana by the champion. Is this it? Could she finish her off here? And Davenport goes for another roll-up. Got it out of the way here, and a kick out. Very close near fall by the champion. And as I was mentioning, Blair Davenport has competed all over the world. She's competed in Stardom in Japan. That's where she had most prominently made her impact in. And Isla Dawn as well, just stomping onto Katana Chance's head here. Goes for the cover. Is this it? Could she defeat her already? But instead, I think it's going to take a lot more than that to put her away. Isla Dawn at this point, she feels like she's not ready to finish her off just yet, but she's going to just get a couple of hits in. But Katana Chance just those stiff forearms onto the challenger into a hurricanrana. And looks to run into the corner here. I guess she's going to go to the second rope. And sets up that Phoenix splash onto the challenger. Is this it? Blair Davenport said, nuh-uh. We're not going to end it just like that. But instead, Katana Chance, another hurricanrana onto Davenport. Both women are down currently. Katana Chance sets up her 450 splash. Looks to retain the championships here tonight, but instead Isla Dawn is going to take a lot more than that to put her away. Tag team wrestling indeed. Isla Dawn and Blair Davenport have got nothing really to lose in this instance. Try to go for attack onto Kayden, but instead countered. Oh my god, what a stiff plant there on face first onto the mat. Isla and Blair's story kind of pretty similar as well to Katana and Kayden. All they need is just an opportunity to really show the world what they're made of. Goes up to the second rope, that middle turnbuckle. Kayden Carter immediately going after Blair Davenport. That is a pretty smart strategy on their end to keep one woman down and the other one distracted. Double team here, goes for the tag, and here comes Katana Chance. They already look to finish this thing off here. Katana's got to be up there like maybe 15 feet in the air as she plants Isla Dawn. Katana Chance using her weight as an advantage, and instead Isla Dawn's going to counter. Just a brilliant striker from her, and goes for that German suplex though as she plants the champion. Goes for the cover here. Does it in front of Kayden Carter because she wants to see that she's going to pin her, but it's going to take a lot more than that, to be honest. Goes for that drop kick, and down goes Katana Chance. Isla Dawn looking to regroup herself and go and take a breather in the corner, while her partner Blair Davenport is still very fresh into this matchup. Hasn't taken too much of a beating just yet as she goes for that stiff code breaker onto the champion. Is this it? But instead Katana Chance still manages to kick out. Blair cannot get frustrated in this matchup just yet. Blair Davenport going for a gut wrench here, it seems, and instead plants her with the knee. Blair Davenport makes another tag to Isla Dawn. I guess Isla wanted to get in this thing pretty quickly. And Kayden Carter, the fresher woman in this matchup, she hasn't really been in this thing too long. Blair Davenport watches as her partner just hits that stiff attack onto Kayden Carter, and another kick out there by the champion. And what can you really do in this instance? Katana Chance just got back into the ring and just tried to cause a very slight distraction there to Isla Dawn, and it worked for a couple of seconds. But she realized very quickly what was happening here, but she didn't see this though. Roll up into the cover, and a kick out there by Isla Dawn. Katana Chance, another execution there into a stiff basement super kick. And goes for the cover again. Is this it? Another kick out though. Another kick out though by Isla Dawn, and another one though by Kayden Carter. Had some microphone issues there for a split second. But she Irish whips her into the rope once again, and I wouldn't be surprised if Isla and Blair maybe did some voodoo or some witchcraft before this matchup to give them an advantage to win the championship. And what a stiff attack there by the champion, or by the challenger. Goes for the tag, and here comes Blair Davenport. Definitely a woman you do not want to underestimate, as she goes for that Hurricanrana though onto Kayden Carter. And this time she's set up to go on the middle turnbuckle, but very smart of Kayden to roll away from Blair's point of view or point of attack, where she's not going to be able to dive that far away. And she had to think there for a couple of seconds as she gets her. Tags in Isla Dawn, and we could be seeing them win the championships here tonight, but instead it seems like they're going to still pick at their food for just a little while before they can finish it off. And that backfired. Kayden Carter goes for the roll-up again. Can she finish her off? And a kick out by Isla Dawn. Another attack. Down goes Blair Davenport. Isla Dawn's in trouble. She's the only woman in her team that is standing right now. And now Katana Chance looking to also stand, this time on Kayden's shoulders, 15 feet in the air. Blair Davenport, this time she gets back in, but I don't think Katana Chance knows that Blair Davenport came back. Cover now, and it was just too easy for Blair to break up the count, and down she goes again. Another attack once more. She could pin her here, and a kick out by Isla Dawn. What can you really do in this instance? Katana Chance set to go up to the top rope and goes for that dive into the splash and the cover. Is this it? The champions look to retain, and they do. Blair Davenport tried to save it, but she just got into the corner by the time that she did. Brilliant matchup tonight.
And still WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Katana Chance and Kayden Carter, the Spitfire Warriors.
Great tag team matchup here tonight as they defend the titles. What the hell is this? What the hell is happening? Dakota Kai just attacking the champions, but Raquel Rodriguez, we haven't seen her in quite some time. It seems like she's aligned herself with Dakota Kai. What does this mean for the women's tag team division? And what does this mean for the champions